news. This is KAKE News on your side at 4.
A woman and 2 children are the victims of a brutal and still unfolding crime, and police believe they have the person responsible.
Vehicle here at 55th and Broadway. It's going east of Broadway. Vehicle just stopped her with animals and gunpoint. They're advised and wanting custody.
In breaking news, 4 hours. Wichita police are investigating a triple stabbing that has claimed the life of a girl and injured another child and a woman.
Yes, we have team coverage tonight. Lily Wu is live over in southeast Wichita where the investigation started. But first we go to Chris Stanford, who's live at police headquarters in downtown awaiting a news conference.
One person called 911.
Jim, Wichita police are going to tell us a little bit more about what happened today in these heartbreaking stabbings coming up here in about 30 minutes. We do know that the chief suspect in this investigation was booked into the Sedgwick County Jail on 1 count of first-degree murder about an hour ago. Also 2 counts of attempted first-degree murder and 3 counts of aggravated kidnapping. That news conference is scheduled to start here at about 4:30. We'll have it live. Downtown, Chris Stanford, KAKE News.
We continue our team coverage. KAKE's Lily Wu is live in southeast Wichita at the scene of where this all started for police this morning. Lily?
Well, Allison, we're here at the Park Lane Shopping Center where investigators continue to be out here. This is one of multiple scenes that they're investigating in connection to the latest homicide. Now, this is also the parking lot where a young girl and a woman were found with multiple stab wounds this morning. Police were called to the area of Lincoln and Oliver after a Jeep crashed into a parked minivan just before 7 this morning. When officers arrived, they found a woman in her mid-20s and a young girl with multiple stab wounds. Both were taken to the hospital where the little girl died. Now, a second scene developed near Valley Center around 8 a.m. when another young girl was found with multiple stab wounds. Police say both little girls are sisters and are between the ages of 4 and 7. It's unclear how and where the 2 children and woman were stabbed.
She had very major stab wounds to her, and again, I don't know if she drove from 77th and Ridge. Like I said, that's all trying to be investigated right now, but that's just the 2 scenes that we've got going right now.
Now, police were looking for 2 men this morning. One of them, they say, is no longer a person of interest, but 49-year-old Hassan Wright was found at 55th Street South and Broadway. Wright was taken into custody and is being questioned right now. He's also been booked in jail now. And as of the young woman as well as the little girl, they remain at a local hospital being treated for their stab wounds. We continue to track this story, and we are still trying to find out where the actual stabbing occurred. Again, we're live out here in southeast Wichita. Lily Wu, KAKE News.
Thanks, Lily. And of course, we're learning a little bit more about the suspect. Police have identified as Hassan Wright. According to neighbors, he's been living at a house with another woman in Hayesville. It was just north of Hayesville at South Wichita intersection of 55th Street and Broadway, where police spotted that woman's car with Wright inside. Police stopped that car. This is a photo that was taken by a witness. It shows police arresting Wright. Another witness working at an oil change shop nearby also saw the arrest. Listen to what they said.
They were saying, get on the ground, get on the ground. They had their weapons drawn. He didn't resist at all. He didn't cause a scene. They took him away pretty quickly.
And this is video that was taken by another worker at that same store. Police walking Wright away. One of the witnesses tells us that a woman who was driving that car became hysterical and kept telling Wright that she loved him as he was being taken away by police. KAKE's Chris Frank has more on this part of the story coming up tonight on KAKE News at 5 o'clock.
Here's what we know about Hassan Wright. He was convicted of aggravated battery and second-degree murder in June of 1998. He was then convicted of burglary and aggravated battery in Sedgwick County in 2005. He was released from prison in March of this year. And we're learning more about the second man police were looking for. According to family, Antonio Ray is the boyfriend of the stabbing victim and father to one of the girls. Police no longer consider him a person of interest. We caught up with his grandfather, who hopes to clear his grandson's name.
They were just wanting for question anyway. Yeah. He wouldn't kill his own child anyway.
This has been a difficult time for the Ray family. Antonio is the brother of Sierra Ray, the woman found murdered in her home last summer.
Yeah, as we've been reporting, police and emergency crews responded to multiple scenes this morning. And as you're about to hear, things quickly escalated. 6:40 a.m. A 911 call to Wichita police leads to the discovery of a car accident at a shopping center at Lincoln and Oliver.
I think victim code red. So our scene and everything's going to be in the parking lot here by the ATM.
Inside the Jeep SUV, a woman and child are found stabbed. Within the hour, police have a name, a person of interest.
So someone with a computer started doing some research on a Hassan Wright. Should be a male related to this.
By 7 a.m., police are told to be on the lookout for Hassan Wright. Then, 8:31 a.m., police and emergency crews scrambled to 77th and Ridge near Valley Center.
Stabbing code red.
A young girl is found walking out of the field with stab wounds. 9:26 a.m., someone tips off police about a car driving just north of Hayesville at 55th South and Broadway. Hassan's been spotted.
Coin party, we identified him. Silver Buick LeSabre. One in custody. Sounds like they've got S1 in custody, FYI. 355th and Broadway, 2 in custody.
Well, remember, KAKE News will be bringing you that news conference from police headquarters. We expect it to start around 4:30, so not too far away. And of course, you can get live updates 24/7 by visiting KAKE.com.
In the vote 2016, the race for the White House enters its final weekend with just 4 days left to go until Election Day.
Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton are battling head-to-head in the same must-win states. Today's ABC News Washington Post poll is tracking those very close together. They're up 3 points, 47 to 44. Hillary Clinton with a slight lead there, but still within the margin of error.
We're on the cusp of historic change that transfers power from a failed political establishment and returns that power to you, the American people. That's what's going to happen.
Now, one way or another, America is going to have a new president on January 20th, right? And people say all the time, well, they want change. Well, we will get change. Change is inevitable. That is certain. The question is, what kind of change are we going to have?
Both candidates hold 3 rallies each today, swinging through 4 states: Michigan, Pennsylvania, Ohio, and New Hampshire.
Police investigating what led up to a fight outside of a northeast Wichita pub, resulting in at least 1 shot being fired. And we want to warn you that some of the video may be considered graphic to some. It happened just after 1 a.m. in the parking lot of Milligan's Pub, and that's off of Rock Road, not far from K96. A witness shot this video during a fight. Police say it started inside the bar and continued in the parking lot. You can see the man hit the woman over the head with what appears to be a bottle of some sort. A 31-year-old woman was taken to the hospital in critical condition. Police are looking for 2 men in the case. It was an absolutely beautiful day, making for a great Friday evening.
We are getting spoiled, and here we are heading into the weekend. Jay Prater joining us right now with a look at that. But Jay, boy, we are enjoying this.
It's a beautiful day, even though if you notice on the Central Care Cancer Center KCAM, we're streaming in some cloud cover now. It's just filtering a little bit of the sunshine here. Still mostly sunny. We're at 73 degrees at Eisenhower National. The wind currently calm and the dew point 75. And across Garden City, notice a little thicker the cloud cover, but it's still thin enough, still mostly sunny on the KCAM. We're at 68 degrees. Those winds are out of the southeast at 8 miles per hour. You can tell the clouds are a little thicker across southwest Kansas because notice those temperatures in the upper 60s to 70 compared to the lower and mid 70s across south central and parts of central Kansas. Now, that cloud cover is going to start to get a little thicker overnight tonight, but still mostly clear. 73 at 6, 70 at 7. By 8, we'll be down to 65, and the wind southeast 5 to 10 miles per hour. Now, the clouds tomorrow continue to increase, but the shower chances, those will be limited to western Kansas. More coming up after the break.
All right, we'll see you in a bit. Well, coming up on KAKE News at 4 o'clock, would you feel safer if you had a security guard outside your home while you were away? Well, how a drone company plans to make that happen.
And later, a bus driver saves the day with her baking skills. Why a few dozen cupcakes brought tears to a student's eyes.
This is KAKE News at 4 with Allison Ackland. And now your KAKE First Alert forecast with meteorologist Jay Prater.
It's still another nice day in KAKE land. Even though, you know, the clouds starting to kind of string back in a little bit, dulling out the sunshine, still great. 73 degrees. The winds out of the south, 2 miles per hour. This is our weather bug sensor here at West and 13th. In northwest Wichita. Now let's head to northwest Kansas. And again, more filtered sunshine. Here is the Frontier Ag camera. Renner Field currently at 71 degrees. The wind's out of the south at 16. But again, the air across western Kansas a lot drier with that dew point at 30. With the thicker clouds across southwest Kansas, it's a little bit cooler. You know, that's where you got those upper 60s and 70. Get into more sunshine, lower to mid 70s. And the clouds will continue to thicken up. Notice how we flipped the winds. They're now mostly out of the south and southwest, and that's where the clouds are streaming up front. Yep, you could tell. Look back towards the southwest. Notice the rain moving through central New Mexico. Yes, it is slowly making its way towards KAKE. It's not going to be a big rush to get here. As we look at the RPM model overnight tonight, again, we'll increase the filtered starlight, but the rain chances really hold off until I think tomorrow afternoon across southwest Kansas. So like today, I think just a little more filtered sunshine. Temperatures will still be unseasonably mild. And as we get towards late tomorrow afternoon, the clouds will continue to thicken up. And southwest Kansas might see a little stray scattered thunder shower. It really won't be until overnight Saturday night that western Kansas, the rain chances start to increase. And as we get into Sunday, eventually those chances for showers will start making the way over towards Salina, Hutch, and Wichita. But if you got eastern half of the state, any kind of outdoor plans tomorrow, I wouldn't worry about any kind of rainfall. This afternoon, mostly sunny, filtered sun, mild 73 at 6 o'clock. Okay, at 5 o'clock. 6 o'clock will be at 70. The winds out of the southeast at 5 to 10 miles per hour. And even at 7, filtered starlight, mostly clear, cool, and 65 degrees. So here is the planner over the next 7 days, south central Kansas, including Wichita, Hutch, El Dorado, Winfield, and Arkansas City. It's not until Sunday I'll put in a 20% chance of showers. A little better chance Monday. I think Monday is our best chance, 50-50 chance of showers, ending Tuesday morning. And right now, I still think there's going to be a mix of clouds and sunshine, kind of a break Wednesday, Thursday, and then another shot of cooler air rolls in here on Friday with a small shower chance across parts of north central Kansas, pretty close. 20% chance of a shower Sunday, and then Monday is the best chance for some scattered rain. Kind of tapers off early Tuesday, some mixed sun and clouds. Friday, yeah, we'll call it mostly sunny with a high near 58. And across southwest Kansas, it's very late tomorrow afternoon. We start kind of increasing the shower chances. They peak overnight, Saturday night into Sunday, and then really drop off Sunday night. For the rest of next week, I think highs are going to be in the 60s and the low close to about freezing overnight Tuesday night. And across northwest Kansas, tomorrow, the cloud cover will get thicker. Saturday night, really only a small chance of a shower. Best chance of a few showers Sunday, tapering Sunday night, and then highs, I think, close to 60 for the beginning of the week. Lows near freezing Tuesday, Wednesday, and again on Friday, the high closer to about 60 degrees. So you notice we're kind of trending more towards typical temperatures for early November.
Slowly but surely.
All right.
Okay.
All right. Thank you so much. We'll be right back. Baseball fans are still celebrating like it's 1908. An important furry friend goes missing and a woman is hailed as a hero on the highway.
KAKE's Chris Stanford has 10 things you need to know.
We start in Syria. Heavy fighting continues in Aleppo. The Syrian army repelled attempts by rebels to break a siege of the country's largest city. A temporary ceasefire took place so residents could leave the city. It ended after rebels shelled the corridor where people were leaving. Staying in Aleppo, new drone footage shows the extent of the damage in the city. The civilian group, the White Helmets, posted this video on YouTube showing the damage from Russian and Syrian bombings. Hundreds have been killed since the siege started. In another part of Syria, ISIS is pushing back against Russian fighters, destroying a helicopter. ISIS fighters destroyed the Russian Hind helicopter after it was forced to land under fire. The crew survived, as they had already been loaded into the other helicopter. ISIS has destroyed 4 Russian helicopters. Out of California, firefighters battled a massive fire in a pallet yard. The crews knocked down the fire in about 2 hours. No injuries were reported. Investigators are looking into the cause of the fire. Now to Texas, a woman being called a hero after a rollover crash. Watch as the SUV comes flying down the road, rolling several times. A second later, a woman runs toward the scene.
So I just took off and ran around. It was right here on the other side of the stop sign.
Inside, an elderly driver was asking where she was. She was taken to the hospital with minor injuries. Now to California, a beloved German Shepherd puppy stolen from a veteran with PTSD.
She waits by his side while he puts the lock back.
Video shows someone entering the yard of a home, stealing the dog.
She's part of our family, and mostly it's more important for her to come back for my husband, because he suffers from PTSD, and she's been really good to him.
Police believe a neighbor knows the thief, but won't tell them where he is. The state capitol in North Dakota goes on lockdown as protesters conduct a sit-in. Members of the group Clergy for Standing Rock are protesting the Dakota Access Pipeline. Police arrested 14 people inside the Capitol. Those outside the Capitol were not arrested. After marching around the Capitol, some protesters demonstrated outside the governor's mansion, calling for a meeting. Now to China. The country launches more pieces to a planned space station. The rocket carried parts of the space station precursor just weeks after 2 astronauts were launched to live in another part of the station. China hopes to have the station fully operational by 2022. In Arizona, dust storms are causing problems for the Phoenix area. The large storms blanketed the area, creating delays at airports and backing up traffic. A gutsy pair of Chicago Cubs fans did trust falls off a Grant Park statue in Chicago during a parade. You can see the 2 people here, one after the other, falling into the cheering crowd with their backs turned. Fans say they were partying like it's 1908. That's the last time the Cubbies won the World Series. For more 10 things you need to know each day, go to our website, KAKE.com, after Good Morning Kansas and KAKE News at 4. If you have video that you'd like to see on 10 things you need to know, you can send it to us on our Facebook page or by emailing us at news@KAKE.com.
Coming up, a superhero bus driver taking time between routes to make a student's day.
Next, everyone may have different opinions of what his superpowers may be, but Donald Trump is now an actual superhero. A new startup is looking to turn drones into guardian angels for our homes.
It sounds like a great idea. Sunflower Labs announced a new security system that uses the flying battery-operated copters to detect possible threats and, if need be, to investigate them for you. The drone can hover around your house, maybe over it, and stream video to your smartphone. Company's still in the early stages, but could start testing sometime next year.
Well, coming soon to a comic book shop near you, it's Donald Trump.
Yeah, this is a good, this is great, right? Okay, yes, Donald Trump getting his own comic book. Trump, The Road to the White House, chronicles Trump's rise to political power and his campaign for the presidency. The artist says that they hope that Trump comic will promote literacy and knowledge of the political process.
Well, sometimes superheroes arrive in unexpected places, like on the school bus. A Pennsylvania 4th grader's day turned into a real bummer real fast.
That's right. When a tray of cupcakes that she brought for the class Halloween party accidentally got knocked onto the floor of her school bus, the driver decided to save the day, rushing home between bus routes to bake a fresh batch and deliver it to the students just in time for her party.
The lady came in and said that these are for Fahrenheit, and I was like, oh my gosh, my bus driver actually made me cupcakes.
Something she just whipped together, right? The class was so touched they wrote the thank you card addressed to the bus driver that saved the day. The school shared the story, and the viral success is just the icing on the cake. We'll be right back.
Live outside our Central Care Cancer Center, KCAM. Notice how the high clouds just kind of streaming in now, starting to filter out the late day sun. That's going to get thicker as we go into the evening. 73 at 5, 70 at 6. We'll be down to 65 degrees at 7 o'clock, and the winds out of the southeast at 5 to 10 miles per hour. There's really no threat of rain, just more filtered starlight overnight tonight. Tomorrow, slowly becoming mostly cloudy but dry. The next really significant rain chance Monday, and that will decrease pretty early on Tuesday. More KAKE News coming up.
Welcome back to KAKE News. We are continuing our coverage today of the murder of a child and the 2 injuries, a woman and another child. We have police are about to hold a news conference. We'll take that live. We are first going to tell you a little bit more about that story. Police were called to that area of Lincoln and Oliver earlier this morning after a Jeep had crashed into a parked minivan. That happened just before 7 o'clock this morning. When officers arrived, they found a woman in her mid-20s and a young child with multiple stab stab wounds.
And both were taken to a hospital where the little girl died. A second scene developed near Valley Center around 8 a.m. when another young girl was found with multiple stab wounds. Police say both little girls are sisters and are between the ages of 4 and 7 years old. It's unclear how and where the two children and the woman were stabbed. The woman and one of the young children remain at a local hospital.
Still a lot of questions today, still unknown the relationship between the person of interest. We're hoping to hear some more details. Let's go now to the Wichita Police Department over in downtown with more.
Everyone good? We're going to talk about the homicide which occurred earlier today. Shortly before 7 a.m., officers were dispatched to the Park Lane Shopping Center on a car accident. Upon the officers' arrival, they located a 24-year-old female and a 6-year-old female in the vehicle. Upon rendering aid to them, they learned that both victims had been stabbed. Both the 24-year-old and the 6-year-old female were transported to Wesley Hospital, where at 7:05 this morning, the 6-year-old was pronounced. While at the scene and at the hospital, the female was able to identify a suspect, which we released to the media as Hassan Wright, a 47-year-old black male. Wichita police officers, along with Kansas Department of Corrections and the U.S. Marshals Service, immediately began a search for him. Shortly after 8 o'clock this morning, officers were dispatched to the 8000 block of West 77th Street, where employees at the Mid-State Sand Company, who had arrived at work, located a 4-year-old female wandering in the field there. This 4-year-old was bleeding and was transported to Wesley Medical Center in critical condition. Both the 24-year-old female and the 4-year-old female were taken into surgery. Both have been, surgery has been completed. They are both in stable condition, but they are still critical. At approximately 9:22 this morning, 911 dispatchers received an anonymous phone call stating that the suspect, Hassan Wright, was at a residence in Hayesville. Hayesville Police Department and Sedgwick County Sheriff's deputies were able to locate Mr. Wright in a car, in which they stopped at approximately 55th and Broadway, where he was taken into custody at 9:28 hours. Mr. Wright was transported to a local hospital where he was treated and released. He has since been booked into the Sedgwick County Jail for 1 count of first-degree murder, 2 counts of attempted first-degree murder, and 3 counts of ag kidnapping. In reference to the information on Antonio Ray, which was released earlier, Mr. Ray is the boyfriend of the 24-year-old female and the father of the 4-year-old. While we needed to locate Mr. Ray, characterizing him as a suspect was done in error. Mr. Ray was located through his employer. He was at work in Oklahoma and is not a suspect in this homicide. Through the investigation, it appears that the scene where this all started was at the 8000 block of West 77th. We are still processing that. We will probably be out there through the end of the day and through tomorrow. We are still conducting interviews, still processing several other scenes at this time. Numerous other agencies in Sedgwick County has worked together today to manage their scenes, and their cooperation is greatly appreciated, and we thank them for that. Any questions?
Are you releasing any names?
No, we are not.
Can you specify the relationship between the 2 young girls and the 24-year-old woman and Mr. Ray?
The 24-year-old is the mother of both children. Mr. Ray is the biological father of the 4-year-old and the stepfather to the other child.
Do we know Wright's relationship to the victims?
Mr. Wright is related to the 24-year-old female.
In what way?
We believe it's her uncle.
Do we know anything yet about what led up to?
No, we do not. No.
We don't have any motives at all right now?
I'm sorry?
We don't have any kind of motives at all that we know of right now?
No, we're still conducting an investigation. Obviously, we have not been able to talk to the 24-year-old or the children.
But it was the 24-year-old identified him as a suspect.
That is correct.
Have you guys spoken with Mr. Wright any more about why he thinks or what he said?
we don't release whatever the suspects say.
Could you talk about the nature of his injuries?
He had a small cut and some bruising. That's it.
Did he appear to be mentally stable?
I'm not going into that. I did not speak with him. I did not see him.
Have you recovered what you believe to be the murder weapon?
We believe we have the weapon at the scene.
Can you describe the weapon for us?
It was a knife.
Long knife, short knife?
All I know is a knife. I have not been out there.
And that is the scene in May's 8,000 block of West
Yes.
Houston?
And that's where you believe it originated?
We believe so, yes.
Do you know approximately when it might have originated there?
No. Approximately, we're looking at around 5 o'clock, maybe a little later.
So earlier in the day, Antonio Ray was a person of interest. What happened there to no longer make him a person of interest?
There was some information obtained, and individuals believed that he was possibly involved. Like I said, we needed to locate him due to him being related to him, but the information that was obtained was false or was wrong.
And where did that information come from?
Just through the investigation. This has been a very fast, rapidly evolving investigation. We moved extremely quickly on this, trying to locate the suspects due to the nature. We also knew that we had a missing child for some time. We were trying to locate that child also, and information got mixed up.
Lieutenant, do we know how the red Jeep ended up down at Park Lane?
We know it was brought back in town. At this time, we believe Mr. Wright drove it back in here. At one time, he exited the vehicle, and the 24-year-old female, we believe, got into the driver's seat, drove a very short distance where it crashed.
Going back to Antonio Ray, do you have anything to say to him or the family for putting his picture and the information out there as a person of interest and later retracting that?
Well, like I said earlier, it was a mistake upon our department. We needed to locate him. We could not locate him through several different addresses, through phone numbers, through family, and we were attempting to locate him. We have since located him. We have talked to him. He is back in Wichita, and we have talked with him.
Are there any other people you're looking for specifically as either suspects or witnesses? Or
Not at this time, no.
have you been able to speak with Mr. Ray about the incident or anything he may know?
Yes, I just said we spoke with him a short time ago.
That was Homicide Detective Lieutenant Todd Ogile, and you just heard some of what they now have filled in the gaps, I guess, of what we've been hearing all morning.
Right, they're now saying, police are saying that Mr. Wright, Hassan Wright, is related to the 24-year-old woman. They say that they believe that he is her uncle. He has been arrested and charged with 1 count of first-degree murder, 2 counts of second-degree murder, 3 counts of aggravated kidnapping. They say they're still interviewing, still processing those crime scenes at the moment, and we'll have more information.
Yeah, and it looks like the construction site over there near Mays off of West 77th. Apparently they were over there at 5 a.m. this morning. Hassan Wright was with the woman along with her 2 children. And that is the focus right now of the police investigation as they try to continue to figure out what the motive may have been for all of this. Of course, keep with KAKE News TV. We're going to have more coverage coming up tonight at 5 o'clock. Thanks for joining us.
For up-to-the-minute news and weather, stay connected to KAKE News with Facebook, Twitter, and KAKE.com. KAKE News on your side.